Hi everybody, it's Mo from Mo Goes, and I'm back again with another video. I can't believe it's been 8 long months since our last cruise, but we're back at Port Canaveral, Florida, ready to embark on another amazing cruise adventure. Welcome to the MSC SEASHORE, Part 1. Surprisingly, embarkation day was pretty uneventful. It was a super simple, super easy check-in process. We were on board in literally no time. This was our very first MSC cruise, so we wanted to start off small. So we booked a 4-day cruise, which had 2 ports of call. This video will be dedicated to the excursions we did on day 2 and 3. Although this is a short 4-day cruise, there's still lots of information that I want to cover, especially considering it's our first experience with MSC. So I will be breaking up this cruise experience in multiple videos. Our room was ready, so we went straight there to drop our bags off. Then we made our way to Deck 16 to the Marketplace Buffet restaurant for a bite to eat. Although the layout is very different from Royal Caribbean's Windjammer, it's still your basic run-of-the-mill buffet restaurant. But there are some marked differences that I definitely want to delve into in another video. After that, we just spent the rest of the evening exploring the ship. We woke up super excited to get the day started because we were scheduled for another great excursion, a taste of Nassau. This was a 3.5-hour shuttle bus tour taking us to 4 different places to try a mix of Bahamian food, treats, and drinks. The tour is booked directly through MSC, so if you're interested in learning more about this food tour, I'll leave a link in the description box below. If it's been a while since you've cruised into Nassau, expect major changes. We haven't been here since 2019 and everything looked different. Once off the ship, we met up with our guide to get the tour started. It took no time to reach our very first stop of the tour, the Bahama Rum Cake Factory. Rum cake is so good, and honestly, there are lots of options for rum cake in the Bahamas, but I'm telling you, this place is the best. The first time we tried Bahama Rum Cake Factory was on another food tour back in 2017, and we've been hooked ever since. When you visit, be sure to try a sample. So they get free samples. We've got original and then pineapple. We already know what these taste like. We're just making rounds here, but let's dig in. These cakes are so tasty, and believe me, they do not skimp on the rum. My favorite flavors right now are amaretto and pina colada. So good. Not only did we get great food on this tour, we also learned a few historical facts about some of the buildings and other landmarks that we passed along the way. Stop number 2 brought us to a popular restaurant called Bahama Grill, where we had a full lunch. No worries if you have a specialized diet, they can't accommodate you, but we ordered the rice and peas, mac and cheese, barbecue chicken, and barbecue ribs. Everything was delicious. I cannot tell you how good this food was. You've got to experience it for yourself. I cannot wait to come back. I mean, everything was so good. Even the lemonade was just out of this world. I am convinced the fruit, the food, everything here in the islands is different from what we have in the United States. You can't tell me any different. Off to our third stop of the tour, Tasty Teas. They offer a variety of amazing bagged teas that have great health benefits. Many of the herbs and plants and flowers used to make these teas are native to the area, so these are things that you won't find, or maybe that are hard to find in other places like the United States or Canada.
So if you look on YouTube, these would definitely be there. Put in the word moringa or put in soursop, and you'll see how many testimonials from different people that have been healed and helped with these ailments, okay?
In addition to all the tasty teas, you'll also find a great selection of sauces, spices, sweets, and treats. I love that Tasty Teas offer samples of some of their teas, and on this visit we got to try out soursop, hibiscus, and moringa. Just outside at JJ's, there were samples of cracked conch and conch fritters waiting for us. Okay, so we've got conch fritters, and then we have a little sample of cracked conch. I've had all of this before. First up were the conch fritters, and as expected, they were delicious. So good. And here's the cracked conch. The cracked conch was a 10 out of 10. Everything was good, and if I could have had seconds, I promise you I would have. Tasty Teas looks nothing like what I remember the first time we visited way back in 2017. They've expanded and added a lot of really cool things like the cracked conch stand, the coconut stand, and there's also a daiquiri stand out front. The daiquiris are made with fresh fruit, with or without alcohol. Definitely a must-try next visit. The fourth and final stop of our tour was literally a hop, skip, and jump away from Tasty Teas, which was the John Watling's Distillery. This 18th century estate is home to John Watling's rum, also known as the Spirit of the Bahamas. It overlooks the harbor and is open 7 days a week, 10 a.m. to 6 p.m.
So yes, folks, welcome to the John Watling's Distillery. My name is John Watlings himself. How you guys doing? But yeah, my name is Von No, and I'll be your tour guide for the next 7-10 minutes, however long you guys want to go. I'm stuck here until 6, so don't answer that. But if you guys look here, this here is one of the many Bahamian islands, but this island here is known as San Salvador. San Salvador. But it was once called Guanahani by the local Indians that were living here in the Bahamas that we refer to as the Lucayans. Now, all of that changed when that guy stepped foot here in the Bahamas. And I mean the guy on the wall. So that there is Christopher Columbus, who was said to have, look at me, discovered Bahamas back in 1492. Unfortunately, upon his big discovery, he met those Indians, those Lucayans here in the Bahamas, and got rid of the entire population, as well as he changed the name of the island from Guanahani to San Salvador. So the Bahamas was empty up until 1647. 1647 is when the British came into the picture. So right there on the left, we got King Charles II, along with 2 of his 6 Lord Proprietors. Now, the Lord Proprietors were sent here and given the task of protecting the islands of the Bahamas. But they didn't get a chance to do too much of that protecting. And that's because they were spending way too much time.
Soon after, we got to try frozen pina coladas made from John Watling's rum, which is special because it's made from sugarcane.
You guys are here in the John Watling's Distillery. So who was Mr. Watlings? He was a pirate that was notoriously known for being religious. Yep, so that meant Monday through Saturday, he was arg and ahoy matey. But on Sunday is when he'd bow before the Lord, asking for forgiveness of his sins, to still wake up bright and early Monday morning and cut off everybody's head. That's why we decided to name this distillery after Mr. Watlings, because we are surrounded by 5 churches and 6 church cemeteries. So, just like Mr. Watlings, you guys can come here for a few drinks, go to church afterwards, and then come back for a few more. Hopefully you skip the cemeteries. Now join me as we head outside and down the steps to go check out the distillery. Trash bin on your right as you come through the door.
We passed lots of historical art pieces on the walls as we headed out back to learn about a very interesting and unique feature on the property.
Now this here is my torture chamber, guys. This is where I throw guests that don't laugh at my jokes, so you guys should start giggling pretty soon. All right, then I see a few people safe. But this here is a water well that was hand carved and extends 74 feet into the ground. So that means somebody, maybe even a few people, were all the way down there hand carving and picking out this here well. Interesting thing about it, it is carved from limestone. Matter of fact, the whole Bahamas is made of limestone. And limestone is a very porous rock. It allows water to pass through it relatively easily. So even when it doesn't rain in months, oftentimes you're still going to find water down there, like right now. And that water is mainly from the surrounding groundwater seeping through that limestone. Now, even though there is water down there, that water isn't really safe enough to drink. And that's mainly due to the accumulation of things that's been thrown down there throughout the years. Hats, bags, phones, wallets, wives, kids, husbands, everything and more. So just know if you throw it down there, it'll be added to the collection and it's not coming back up. So say goodbye. Now follow me to where the rum is made.
Next, we all headed inside a very large barn where the rum is actually made, packaged, and labeled. The minute you step inside the building, the smell of rum hits you like a ton of bricks. We made our way back inside the back of the main building where we were able to shop all the different rums and liqueurs. We ended up purchasing their Red Turtle vodka, which is also made here at the distillery. In the tavern, you'll find a menu with a great selection of cocktails. They even offer a rum sampler of all their rum flavors. Jay tried it, but I passed. Dark rums are not for me. If you're planning an MSC cruise to the Bahamas in the future, I highly recommend you consider taking this food tour. It was the best, the food is good, and if you're a foodie, you're gonna love it. Our cabin was port side, and luckily there were no other ships blocking our view, so we had great views all day. I love this night footage of the ship leaving the port. For those interested, I included maps showing the walking and driving distance from Nassau Cruise Port to each of the 4 stops on the food tour. I've had many people ask if these stops are within walking distance to the cruise port, and it depends on the person. It's completely subjective, but hopefully these maps help. We woke up to another gorgeous sunrise and another great itinerary. Today we spend the day at Ocean Cay. Now this view is why I love to cruise. I could wake up to this every single day. Access to the entrance of Ocean Cay is super easy. It's literally 75 feet, if that, from the ship. I know from experience that some cruise line private islands are not this easily accessible, so I give MSC credit for designing it this way. Despite the bright sun, it was actually a cool and breezy day, so we opted to skip the beach. Not far behind the welcome tower at the entrance, you'll find the Ocean Cay Visitor Center. Inside, it's just like a gift shop where you'll find lots of cool souvenirs, beach equipment, and snorkel supplies. A little further back into the property, there are a couple of other opportunities to do some shopping at the Ocean Cay Trading Post, as well as the Ocean Cay MSC shop. Opposite the Ocean Cay Visitor Center, you'll find a large pink tower, which is the rental excursions booth. Honestly, it was way too cold for us to do any type of water activity, which is why we opted just to walk around the front part of the property. We did a little window shopping and we walked most of the paths, just appreciating all the beautiful landscaping. The trees, the plants, the flowers, it's such a beautiful scene here. And if you didn't know, Ocean Cay is not completely built out yet. This is a work in progress, so there were lots of sections of the island that we did not have access to. I took some footage from the upper decks of the MSC SEASHORE, looking down onto the island so that you get a good perspective of what everything looks like. It's pretty obvious where they're still doing work and construction. You can see the heavy equipment in some areas, so I'm sure that eventually this entire island will be completed to the point where every part of it is accessible. I went to the MSC website and took some screenshots of FAQs that I think are really helpful for anyone that may be considering a cruise on MSC and want more information about Ocean Cay. I'll leave a link to the entire list of FAQs down in the description box below. Want to stay active but you don't want to do excursions? You can get your steps in by exploring the island via the walking paths. There is a complimentary buffet restaurant here called Seeker's Restaurant, but we didn't get to see it because it's located near the beaches, and because we had no plans to go to the beach, we really didn't want to make the trek back just to see the restaurant. I love how the maps and signage are clearly marked, making it really easy to navigate your way around the island to different places like Springer's Bar, the buffet restaurant, food trucks, and especially restrooms. These restrooms happen to have a bay of showers on the side, perfect for rinsing off after a day at the beach. Although we didn't get to do a lot of activities, we still had a great time and we learned a lot about Ocean Cay. Well, that's it for part 1 of our MSC cruise. Thank you so much for watching. I hope it was both enjoyable and informative, and make sure you come back for part 2 because there's more to come. Be sure to like, subscribe, and share, and until the next video, see ya!